His eyes were more narrow, like evil looking.
Can't wait to see this. He sounds like a werewolf.
Lucky for me, he wasn't.
How's that?
Well, it's better. It's not exactly right. I just don't know how to tell you to fix it.
May I see it now? So this is the man who attacked you, huh?
That's him. It's as close as I can get.
Oh, good. Here you are. I was just on my way out. I wanted to let you know.
Oh, I'm on my way to the guest house. Where are you off to?
To make a house call. I'll be back later.
When later?
Can't be sure. I'll see you.
Mark?
Yeah.
You're not telling me the truth, are you?
I beg your pardon?
I'd like to know where it is you really go these days. These nights. You say you're off to the hospital or to the clinic or to see a patient, and then you come home late after being gone all day and never any explanations. The last time I called the hospital when you said you were going to be there, and they said they hadn't seen you at all.
Mary, I'm in a real hurry right now, and I don't have time for a conversation.
Mark, we've got to talk. There is something very wrong with us. Now, I'm not blaming you.
Mary, I don't have time right now. Now, if you want to make a scene, wait until I get home.
When will that be?
When I get here. Calling around all over town won't get me home any sooner.
Just spoke to the hospital.
Did they finish the tests?
Yes, they say that Madeline's blood and tissue types are a very close match to Kirk's. And they say transplant is feasible, so they're recommending it.
How soon can they do it?
Well, unfortunately, they need authorization from the husband. They won't accept mine, and we're just going to have to wait until David gets here.
Well, how much time do we have?
Honey, I don't know. They didn't specify, but I imagine these things have to be done quickly or not done at all.
Pearl, I want you to walk through everything you did from the moment you came in here. Is that okay?
Yes.
Well, you think I'd ask you to do it if it wasn't okay?
Well, no, but I figure since Julie is here, acting as my attorney, I just check in with her.
Know that this is temporary until you find yourself.
Okay, I got somebody come up, baby, so just hang tight, all right?
I hope he hurries.
Right. Okay, it's like this. Look, why don't you just change your mind and take my case, okay? What's wrong with
You
it?
talk to me, I'll change.
Could we do this, please?
Right, gotcha. Sorry. Where were we?
When you came in...
Okay, the door.
The door, which was open.
Got you. All right. Coming through the door, I see the body lying there. I see the hammer right next to it, okay, with blood all over it. The murder weapon, I presume. I make a beeline, a boogie straight over to the phone, which we can all see right here is disconnected. The hat falls off my head. Before I know it, I'm crossed down on my knees, right? Just like in the movies. I'm checking the heartbeat. I'm checking the pulse. I'm checking the breathing. Somewhere along the line, I move the hammer out of my way. I got blood right here, all over my hands, my knuckles, everything. And I'm feeling for the pulse. And lo and behold, I look up.
Hello, can I help you? Excuse me, is there something that I can do for you?
The lady asked you a question, man.
You killed her. You killed her. Hey, what do you think you're doing, man? Hey! Oh, get up, you!
What are you protecting him for? He's a murderer! Listen, we're sorry about what happened here, but it's done. Pearl, I think you better get out of here.
Is that okay?
Yes, I think it's a very good idea.
Look, I'm very sorry about your wife. I didn't mean to. I didn't do anything. I found it here.
You calm down. I'm going to cuff you, all right? I'm going to put the cuffs on you. Now, Pearl, beat it. Why are you just letting him walk out? Let go of me. Fine. You calm down. I'm all right. Good. I'm all right. What's your name? My name is David Laurent, and Helen was my wife. Look, I just came into town and I went over to the hospital and I saw her lying there hooked up to these machines. I mean, I couldn't even recognize her. And then I saw this article in the paper and it said where it happened and who was responsible, and I just came over here. Look, I'm sorry, man. I understand your grief, but if you go around attacking people, you're going to end up in jail.
I'm sorry, but I saw that man's picture in the paper. Who are you anyway?
I'm Inspector Castillo with the Santa Barbara PD. This is Julia Wainwright. She's an attorney.
You representing him?
Yes, temporarily.
What's Madeline doing here?
That's what we'd like to know.
My beautiful Madeline.
Look, I'm very sorry. Calling this my divorce settlement party. I want it to be the most glamorous party this town has ever seen, and I've sent out a lot of invitations, and I expect a lot of people, so I hope there's no trouble closing the restaurant for the evening.
None at all, Mrs. Lockridge.
Oh, good. For the money I'm paying, I should be able to reserve all of downtown Santa Barbara. Well, anyway, here are the things that I want, just to reaffirm what we talked about earlier.
I assure you, everything will be to your complete satisfaction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Augusta, if you've come to yell at me for selling those paintings to Dad...
No, it's all forgiven. Besides, the money was the main concern anyway, wasn't it? Hello, Bobby.
I'm Mrs. Lockridge.
Did you get my invitation?
Yes, I did, but I was so sure that you mailed it before you slugged me that I threw it out.
Oh, come on, I just slapped you, and I apologize, I really do. I was just surprised that Cece was the one who bought all the paintings. Besides, that's all behind us. I'd like you to come to my party, so why don't you pull out the invitation from the wastebasket and dust off your tux?
Well, I'd love to, Augusta, but I have a prior engagement.
Oh, don't disappoint me, Mason. After all, it was a settlement that you got me that made the whole thing possible.
A little be possible without me, and less crowded. Who've you invited, anyway?
Everyone I know who's anyone, and some people I'm not too sure about.
I'm anyone, and I wasn't invited.
I wish you'd stop sneaking up on me. What are you doing here?
Well, waiting to be invited to fashionable parties, mostly. Well, now that I'm about to be an eligible bachelor, I can't just hang out and sulk.
Well, actually, I'm glad you're here. I need to talk to you. Would you excuse us?
Don't you want legal representation?
No, thank you. I think I can manage it on my own.
I gotta go, too. Do you think you can do something with that?
Yeah, I think it'll help. It's a little bit more to go on.
I really do appreciate what you're doing for me, Mason.
Well, we'll see what we can turn up. You take care of yourself, huh?
I will. I don't think I'll make that mistake again.
Hi. Can I talk you into lunch?
Aren't you previously engaged?
No. Bobby was just leaving. Please join me.
I'm sorry, Mason, I can't.
For a drink, then?
I guess I have time for a fast glass of tomato juice.
An excellent choice. If I can just try... Mike, 2 fast tomato juices, please. See what a good influence you are on me?
What would you have had if I hadn't come by, Mason?
A long, lonely lunch. What are you doing out by yourself, anyway?
Seemed better than staying in by myself.
I take it Mark's out somewhere?
Oh, at the hospital doing some work. What's this?
It's just a sketch.
Oh, can I see it?
Well, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
What shall we drink to?
Accidental meetings.
Cheers. Lacks some of the charm of a champagne cocktail.
What'd you say this was?
It's, just a case I'm working on, nothing interesting.
I don't get it. What are you doing with the sketch of Mark?
What?
Oh, David. It's so terrible, isn't it?
Oh, Cece.
Sad way to welcome you, David. Glad you're here. We've been waiting for you.
Yeah. Went to the hospital first. I saw her.
I know. Listen, we have a lot to talk about. Why don't I take you up to Madeline's room? You can rest and freshen up. Huh? Come on.
Okay, thanks.
Courtney, could you take a little walk with me? I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Of course.
You don't mind waiting, Julia?
No, not at all.
Julia, I am so sorry I forgot my manners. Please make yourself comfortable. I'll be with you in a minute, all right?
Thank you.
Come on, have your bag sent up in a second.
Courtney,
Yes, of course.
this won't take long.
Take your time.
So I thought if you could come up with any enemies that Madeline might have had, that could help us out.
Enemies. Well, there were a number of people who misunderstood Madeline, but I wouldn't call them enemies. I mean, everyone knew Madeline was harmless.
Really, I got the impression she was capable of doing a great deal of harm, that she was pretty careless with people's feelings. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
According to Pearl, she went after him with a vengeance.
That's true, too. Sometimes I wonder how even I put up with her temper tantrums. But I guess I just learned to ignore the things that I didn't like. It's like that saying goes, to have a friend, you must close one eye. To keep him, two. That also applies to relatives. But I loved her, Cruz. I really did.
I don't doubt it for a minute. Courtney, the better I understand her, the better chance I'm going to have of figuring this thing out. So whatever you can tell me about her, I'd appreciate it.
Well, she was very insecure. So she put up a facade of being a snob. I think I'm one of the few people who really saw how much depth she had and how much compassion she was capable of. Oh, and by the way, I want you to know that I don't think Pearl did this. I want to make you really understand that although at first I accused him of it, I really don't think he did this.
Yeah, you certainly did accuse him. But I agree with you. I don't think he did it either. I just had no choice under the circumstances but to arrest him. Courtney, why do you think she made so many visits to this bungalow?
I have no idea. She never said a thing to me.
I mean, Pearl told me that he drove her there time after time and never knew what was going on, that he just parked the limo and waited till she came out, and that she was always alone, coming and going.
Really? She never told me a thing about it.
Huh. What about her husband, David? What's he like? Is something the matter? You okay?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of a way to answer your question. David, well, you met him. He's very quick to temper, but he's also a very charming, very cosmopolitan man. I suppose that he's used to women being attracted to him.
What was their marriage like?
I don't know. Madeline never confided in me about her marriage.
Do you think they were in love with each other?
I thought so, but with some people, it's hard to tell how they feel about anything.
I think I'm going to go back to the hospital. I think I feel better being there with her. You know?
I understand that. David, before you go, I think you should understand the situation completely. My son-in-law, Kirk, is in a hospital up in Palo Alto, awaiting a heart transplant. It's a matter of urgency, and we will probably lose him if we don't find a donor. Now, the doctors have told me that Madeline's tissue and blood types are a very close match for Kirk's.
I don't understand. Are you...
Yes, yes, David. They would like to transplant Madeline's heart to Kirk. Of course, we need your permission. If we don't get it, he'll probably die. I hate to hit you with this at this particular time, but I hope you'll agree to it.
They told me at the hospital that Madeline was considered brain dead. There was no chance of her recovering.
Yes, David, that's what they told me, too.
don't know why you suppose I wouldn't want to come to your party.
Doesn't it seem somehow in bad taste? After all, I'm giving this party to celebrate the money I won from you in a divorce settlement.
Oh, I see. And you don't want the sacrificial lamb at the celebration.
Not if the lamb is going to act like he's been sacrificed. It's bound to put a damper on things, don't you think?
I think I have a little more pride than that, Augusta.
Lionel, it just seems embarrassing. I didn't invite any of the other Catwells. Well, we have to coexist in this town. I think I'd rather have people think that we had a divorce that was amicable.
Why don't we practice being amicable?
Sad, isn't it? How quickly and completely things change between people. I thought we had something that would outlast the pyramids.
We could try to rebuild. Sometimes things are better the second time around.
No, Lionel, I want to move on. So if you want to come to the party tonight, just please feel free.
Thank you. I accept your gracious invitation.
Excuse me, Mrs. Lockridge, yes. I have some messages for you.
Oh, thank you.
The Troutmans called and said they won't be able to make it tonight, and neither will the Buckleys or the Stewarts.
I don't believe this. Well, there go William and Jimmy. They're lost.
That's odd. There is a resemblance. I never noticed it before. Not meant to be Mark, though.
Certainly reminded me of Mark. So what's this guy supposed to have done?
Well, I can't say, but we're looking for him in a criminal case.
Oh, well, then obviously it can't be Mark, can it?
Hardly.
Guess everybody has a double.
I've yet to meet yours. Maybe that's because you're unique.
You're so good for my ego. I'm sorry, Mason. I wish I could stay, but I can't. I'm going to be late for the clinic.
But you didn't have to go. I was hoping I could charm you into lunch.
Sorry. Maybe another time.
Well, I hope so. I eat almost every day, so there'll be other opportunities.
Thank you for the tomato juice. It was wonderful.
Yeah, they have a mean way with a tomato here. We'll talk soon.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'd like to leave a message for Dr. Mark McCormick. No, just a message. Will you ask him to meet his wife at the Orient Express restaurant as soon as he can get away? That's right. Please tell him it's urgent. Thank you. No, it can't be.
All right. Tell them to go ahead. I'll give my permission.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. There are some legal papers to be signed, though.
Yeah.
If you need me to get some forms for you and do the paperwork, I'll do that for you.
Thank you. I'd really appreciate it.
Well, I assume you want to be alone with your wife right now, so I will take care of the other things for you.
Julia, you will be reimbursed for your time and expense.
Don't worry about it. See you later.
Inspector Castillo, I want this man punished, this, Pearl or whatever his name is, to the fullest extent of the law.
This man, Pearl, says he didn't do it.
I suggest you go out and you find the person who did that and put him behind bars. Inspector, I came about as close to having a perfect marriage as any two people you're likely to find. We were ideally suited.
Oh, that's nice. Does that mean you never argued?
What are you talking about? We argued all the time. We were both of us temperamental and stubborn, but it never got in the way of our love for each other. Well, you don't fight with your wife?
I haven't yet.
Well, you must be the exception. You know, I still remember our honeymoon in Paris. It was late in May, and there was a taxi cab strike, and we had to walk everywhere in the city. Her feet were killing her. If you've ever been to Paris, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But she never complained. The whole city was in bloom. And we were so completely in love. I remember we took this ride down the Seine in a Bateau Mouche. It was sunset. And I was sitting beside her, just looking at her, that reddish gold kind of Parisian light, thinking that she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and I'd never be that happy again.
And were you?
Was I what?
Were you ever that happy again?
From the first day I met her, I considered myself to be the luckiest man in the world, and I still do, and I always will. Just for having known her.
Look, Mr. Laurent, if this is a problem, we could continue some...
No, it's no problem. I know you have to ask these questions, and I want to help, so just go ahead.
Thank you. When was the last time you spoke to your wife?
About a week ago. I was still in Hong Kong.
They weren't able to locate you right after the attack took place. They called, but they couldn't reach you, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I was in Boston. I was at home. My phone was off the hook because I had a lot of paperwork. I wanted to do it undisturbed. My phone rings constantly, and I find I can't even concentrate unless I do that.
I know what you mean. I assume you can substantiate that.
Oh, I see. You want to make sure I have an alibi, because the husband, of course, is always the prime suspect in a case like this.
Husbands have been known to kill their wives, even loving husbands.
Well, you're free to contact anyone you like. As a matter of fact, I even spoke with my secretary twice that day on the phone, so you can contact her. I've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure you don't, and I apologize for asking all these questions, but it's part of my job.
I understand. Look, if I can help bring whoever did this to justice, I want to cooperate in any way I can, but I want to tell you this. I would have done anything in the world to keep her safe. She was the focal point of everything for me. You can't even begin to know how lost it feels without her.
Courtney, if you have any idea at all who did this, and you don't believe it's me, and you gotta tell somebody, okay? It's gotta be Cruz, Julia, or Pearl. But you can't sit on it like Humpty Dumpty.
Pearl, I have nothing to say.
Yes, but you know something, or you suspect somebody. And I want to know who, that's all. I mean, look, I'm the only suspect I can come up with right now, and I got my head in the noose practically. Okay? All I want to know is who do you suspect? Wait a minute. Did you see someone at the bungalow? You were there right after it happened. And then all of a sudden you changed your mind when I was being questioned. You got convinced that it wasn't me. How did that happen?
Okay, I have some suspicions, but I don't want to act on it until I have some proof. At least until I'm sure about it, okay?
Okay, then let me help you. All I want to do is help. And not only because I'm trying to save myself, Courtney, I really care about you. And I care what happened to your sister.
In spite of the way she treated you?
Okay, so what? She wasn't the good witch of the north, but that doesn't mean she deserved it.
I've always known there was something very special about you.
I'm sorry. Okay. It's gonna be okay. Courtney, I am very scared for you.
Why?
If whoever you suspect finds out that you suspect him, I mean, we are dealing with a killer here. If he can kill once, the second time gets a lot easier.
Don't worry about me, because I can take care of myself.
You shouldn't have to, though.
Will it be black tie?
Absolutely.
Well, I'll miss having you tie my tie and brush off my dinner jacket.
I've brushed you off the last time, my darling. I'm sure there is a long line of women ready to do the job.
Well, of the 1,000 or so, I prefer your touch, your feel.
Don't start with me, Lionel. I'm impervious. Divorce gives you a passport to another country. You learn to speak another language.
Body English?
Oh, you don't even want me back. You just can't stand to see me go. Men are so perverse. If you want to come to the party, come, okay?
Well, thank you. I accept.
Mrs. Lockridge, I have 4 more calls for you, and there are more cancellations, I'm afraid.
I don't believe this. The Moors can't make it, and the Westcotts have bridge. They can't even play bridge. They always get their hand signals mixed up. Look, I'll just take the rest of the calls. Would you bring me a phone, please? If people want to lie to me, they can lie to my ear.
All right.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Mary McCormick.
I don't believe there's anyone here by that name.
She's Mr. Capwell's nurse. She left a message to meet her here. She said it was urgent.
Come to think of it, I do recall having seen her here earlier, but she left some time ago, sir.
That's odd.
That's him. That's the man.
He just told me to follow him.
Everywhere he goes. I want to know every stop he makes. Hoping the first one will be somewhere in the red light district. Okay, Hodges. Get to work.
Yes, sir.
It's ironic, isn't it? A horrible incident like this can actually turn into a blessing for Eden. Kirk. Operation successful. He gets another lease on life.
He's a lucky man. Have you told Eden about this?
No, I haven't done that. I wouldn't do that until everything is signed and sealed. I don't want to get her hopes up in case there's any impediments.
I don't think there will be if it's only a matter of permission.
Yeah, well, then there is the operation itself. I mean, we have to hope that Kirk's system doesn't reject the implant. All kinds of risks.
Yeah, there's another irony in all this, too.
What is that?
Kirk always wanted to be a Capwell, and now he's going to have a Capwell heart.
Kirk doesn't need a Capwell heart to be any more of a Capwell than he already is. I know you don't feel like that, but I do.
I know.
Well, you better go on and conduct your murder investigation.
Right.
Cruz.
Yeah.
I mentioned something to you. I hope you will conduct your investigation as you normally would. I mean, I haven't really drawn any opinions about whether Pearl is guilty or not, but he is your friend.
I'm paid to conduct an investigation no matter where it leads.
I know what you're paid for, my boy, but you've been known to be partial. We all do that. We're human, you know.
I'm not going to cover for anybody, friend or foe, okay?
Mr. Capwell, I have the papers ready for David to sign. Everything else is arranged.
Okay, what happens once they're all signed? What goes on
When
then?
they're signed, they'll be sent to the hospital, and Madeline's heart will be removed, flown to Palo Alto Hospital, where they're ready for immediate transplant. They're ready to receive it now.
That's good. It's really good. Well, why don't you go inside? I'll be right in.
Thank you.
Come, walk your teacup.
Mr. Laurent, I have your papers.
Back already?
As you know, this has to be taken care of as soon as possible. They need to operate as soon as they get a chance.
This, feels like I'm seeing my wife murdered for a second time.
Maybe you could look at it as allowing her to die a natural death and saving someone else's life in the process.
And we had such plans. She loved to travel, you know. We'd sit and talk for hours about all the trips we were going to take. We were going to buy an island somewhere. Someday, maybe even a chateau in the south of France. It's a mistake to wait for the things you want. They may never happen.
Yes, you're right.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
It's Julia Wainwright.
Is that Miss or Mrs.?
I'm not married.
Do you mind if I call you Julia?
Sure, go ahead.
And Julia, I want you to know you're going to be paid for everything that you've done. I'm really appreciative.
No. That's okay. Don't worry about that.
Oh, come on. You're an attorney, and we've taken up a lot of your time. I mean, it's not many people can afford to work for nothing.
I'm doing this on a volunteer basis, so don't even think about paying me.
But you're doing it for a total stranger.
It's okay. I knew Madeline slightly. As a matter of fact, I overheard her talking about you one day.
Really? What'd she say?
She said that she missed you. She thought you were a remarkable man.
Yeah, business took me away from her far too often. Well, there's no sense in postponing this. I feel like ending her life. Taking it away.
I'm very sorry.
I am the second murderer.
Mason Capwell? Yeah, I'd calling him. Where? Are you sure? Okay, I'm on my way. There's a much better one playing just down the street. Hardly worth a buck, is it?
Hello. Yes. Thank you for calling. It's over.
Sorry, Courtney.
I'll, take care of all the arrangements. You two don't have to worry about anything.
It's just a simple service. Only the immediate family.
Of course.
Thank you, Uncle Cece.
Look, I think I'm going to go upstairs. I feel really tired.
I'm sure you are.
Thanks for everything you've done, Cece.
She was so young.
I know. I'll take care of everything, okay?
Excuse me.
Hi.
Oh, a friendly face at last. Why do I get the feeling I should walk back out the way? Julia, everybody's canceling on me. I hope you're coming to the party tonight.
I can't.
Oh, Julia, you of all people, you're going to let me down?
I'm sorry. I have so much work to do. I have to bury my head in legal precedent.
That's perfect. That's just wonderful. It'll be me and a 10-piece orchestra. Well, the positive side to that is I could dance on the tables and there won't be any gossip tomorrow.
Surely everyone didn't cancel.
No, but there are a couple of hours to go, and the rest of them can cancel very gracelessly.
Well, what were their excuses?
Simple ones, thank you. Colds, flu, bridge, prior things to that. You know what I mean. What is going on? I don't understand it. Is the word out that I have the plague or something? I mean, I did say it was going to be a glamorous party on the invitations. I said glamorous party, good eats.
Look, I'm sure that there will be enough people here to make a party out of.
Oh, well, a perennial optimist. Well, guess who is coming?
Who?
I said guess.
Frank the milkman.
Close. Lionel, the ex-husband.
Really?
Yes, he invited himself, and I said, well, if he could put up with it, he might as well, but of course I'm sure he'll cancel out, too. Is the chic thing to do, isn't it? Skip Augusta's party?
Well, I hope that he does come, and if he does, I hope that you're nice to him.
Why should I be nice to anyone? And if you're trying to matchmake, please don't do it with the man I just divorced.
Augusta, you need someone. I mean, some people are okay alone, but you're...
Oh, really? Is that how you see me, a clinging vine, frail little thing?
No. It's just that you need someone around to compliment you, you know.
All Lionel ever did was insult me, my taste, my friends, my fidelity. No, thank you. I don't need that anymore.
You mean to tell me that you don't miss him even just the littlest bit?
Don't be silly. I miss him every minute. Just trying to work it out, and the best way is not to talk about him. Would you like another drink? Or at least one? No, thank you.
I have to go home.
Please don't work all night. Please come back.
I promise I will try my best. You gonna be okay?
Me? Sure. You know me. I'm resilient.
Old Augustus.
Don't even say that. Whom the gods would destroy would make good and old.
Was that self-pity that I just
No.
heard? No, of course not. It must have been a joke.
Right.
Cheer up. I'll come back.
Thanks.
Bye.
Everything's ready to go.
Well, I may not have a choice, but why don't we just give it a little longer?
All right.
Mason, it's Mark McCormick. No, this is not an obscene phone call. I just think that after what happened this afternoon, we should talk. Well, maybe you don't, but I do. Now, can we meet? Good. Where and when?
Mrs. Lockridge, is there anything I can do?
Yes, you could, have a glass of champagne with me.
Thank you, but I don't drink.
Just my luck. Look, there's no reason you're hanging around or your staff. Why don't you just let them go and I'll make sure they're paid for the evening.
That's very kind of you. I'm sorry about how things turned out. They'll never know what they missed.
C'est la vie. Have a canape on the way out.
I will.
Here's looking at me, kid.
Where is everybody?
Cute question. Wish I had a snappy answer.
You mean no one turned up?
Can I count you?
Of course I do.
Well, then one.
I can remember the time, Augusta, when you and I were a party all by ourselves.
Once in the dim, dead days beyond recall. Look, why don't you just have a glass of champagne, all right? Unless you don't drink any more either.
Oh, I'd love one.
Good. Well, I guess I can't show my face around this town again, can I? But then there are other towns somewhere.
Oh, I don't think you've been socially ostracized. Truthfully, I can't think why this would happen.
Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to have the maitre d' lock up, and then I'll sit here like Mrs. Havisham till I'm covered with dust and cobwebs.
No, I'm not going to let that happen. Here.
Really? And how are you going to prevent that?
Well, I think that you have to be force-fed a little gaiety. So, if you don't mind, I will go to the maitre d' and ask him to put on some music. And then, perhaps, we can face it and dance, huh?
I'd love it.
Would you? Well, let's see if I still carry any weight around here.
Porno theaters, deserted gazebos. Next, it'll be adult bookstores. We got to stop meeting this way, Mark.
Listen, I appreciate you coming down here. I want to thank you for not telling Mary where you saw me today. I'm right, aren't I? You haven't told her?
No, I have more regard for people's feelings than that, though I must say I was surprised to see you there.
Well, I could return the compliment.
Well, my excuse is that I was working on a case. What's yours? Somebody have an anxiety attack and call for a doctor?
No, I was curious, that's all. I'd never seen a movie like that. I thought I'd see what all the fuss was about. To tell you the truth, I was disgusted and I was getting ready to leave when you spoke to me.
Oh, good. I was afraid you were just waiting for the place in the film where you'd come in. Now, that would have been disillusioning.
Afraid not. So, what kind of a case were you working on, anyway?
I'm not at liberty to say. Professional ethics, you understand that, don't you? It's a very seamy case, though, obviously.
Yeah, well, I hope you won't tell anyone.
Don't worry, your guilty secret is safe with me. Mostly because I know how hurt Mary would be if it ever got back to her. Thank you. Not the only reason you wanted to see me, to reassure yourself that I hadn't told anyone? That's it. Well, you can rest reassured.
I hope someday I can return the compliment.
So do I. Well?
That's him. That's the one who hit me.
Absolutely
You
sure.
bet I am.
It's hard to believe. Doctor by day, sex fiend by night, latter-day Jekyll and Hyde.
Take my word for it. He's not much of a sex fiend. When he was with me, nothing happened. Except he got really angry. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the sex thing that makes him so crazy.
Courtney, mind telling me what you're doing in my suitcase?
Yeah, I'm still here. No, ma'am. Ma'am. I'm trying to find out if David Laurent was there around noon on Friday, April the 4th. He says he was. I need to confirm it. You sure about that? I see. Thank you very much. No. Yeah.
Here you go, Chris. I got a record of all the phone calls made from the bungalow on the 4th.
Good. Anything interesting?
Yeah, it looks like she made a call at almost exactly the time of the attack.
Let me see that. Stanford Memorial Hospital. You check it out?
Yeah, a nurse confirmed she took a call for Eden Cranston.